Hi friends, welcome to Air to Earth Tarot. I'm Ange and we are reading for Aquarius for the month of January 2021. I almost said 2020. So, welcome, like I said, to all my newcomers. I always forget to say like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Definitely. I do want to say that these tarot talks that I do are for everybody. Anybody who's looking to improve themselves and want to just be a better version of themselves. They want to look at themselves deeply. They want to reflect. They want to be honest in order to grow. Those are all the prerequisites to be able to benefit from something like this. There are many tools to do so. Tarot is just one of them. It's an interesting one that I like because I like art and imagery and archetypes and psychology and personalities and all that good stuff. So enjoy. Take what resonates, take what you find helpful, and use it. Yeah. So, again, this is going to be a general reading for Aquarius for January 2021. If you would like any information on myself, on Air to Earth, on our podcast, any information, you can follow us on Instagram. That information is going to be in the description box below. Any information on the decks I use will also be in the description box below, as well as how you can contact me on Instagram or via email. So check that out. And let's get started. So we're going to pull 2 cards for love, 2 cards for career, and 2 cards for personal development. And then we will end it off with an animal oracle card for advice for you. All right, Aquarius. And we will clarify. I don't know if I said that, but we will clarify before we pull the animal oracle card, okay? So what do we have for our dear Aquarius? Ace of Pentacles, 10 of Pentacles, 7 of Swords. What do we have in career for Aquarius? 10 of Wands, 9 of Wands. And personal development. 8 of Swords, 9 of Swords, 3 of Swords. Some of the toughest swords in personal development. That's interesting, Aquarius. Okay, so in love, Ace of Pentacles, beautiful imagery there. 10 of Pentacles, probably one of the most interesting 10 of Pentacles cards I've ever seen, and the 7 of Swords. So let's break it apart. Ace of Pentacles. Opportunities. I'm very eager to clarify. But as it stands, I would ask, so we have the beginning of a journey, right? And then we have the end of a journey, the happiness, the fulfillment, the having everything that you asked for, the being centered, the sense of knowing who you are and what you want, of being supported by these kind of spirit-like energies here, but also the implication that it took, you know, it was a journey getting there to this centered space, and it started here. It started with a seed, with an opportunity, you know, a desire even, and then we have the 7 of Swords, which is, as you can see, kind of like wanting to punish, or feeling like you can't control yourself. It speaks to a lack of control, hoping people don't see certain things or aspects, hiding things from yourself or from others. Yeah, so that's an interesting mix of messages. I would ask you, Aquarius, there, are you proud of your journey? Are you proud being like the full extent of being okay with yourself and everything you've been through? So the ideal, right? So but where do you stand on that spectrum of being ashamed versus being really, really proud of who you are, what you've been through, what that journey, what that staircase looks like for you? So how, what, because that Seven of Swords energy is like, it's deceptive, it's insidious. So I'm wondering how you manage that energy within yourself, Aquarius. So more insight to come when we clarify, but I'm going to leave it there for now. In career, we have the 10 of Wands and the 9 of Wands. So this is talking about really hard work, hard fought victories. And I say victory loosely. Victory meaning it's ending. You've gotten over a hump of sorts. But it isn't necessarily like enjoyable yet. I don't know if that makes sense. But what has you feeling... what do you feel responsible for? Is what I would say. What do you feel responsible for in your career? So not what are you responsible for? What does your job title say? But what do you feel is your responsibility in your career? And how do you connect to that? We'll see when we clarify. But how do you feel about your responsibility in whatever it is you do for a living? That's what I would say. What's your relationship to your responsibility, your sense of duty, conscientiousness, that kind of thing? And in personal development, we have the 8 of Swords, 9 of Swords, and the 3 of Swords. So this is probably everyone's like least favorite cards all in one. But nothing is ever as scary as we make it. So let's break it apart. We have the 8 of Swords and the 9 of Swords. The 8 of Swords talks about self-inflicted pain by way of overthinking, by way of anxiety, which is more tied to the 9 of Swords, anxiety, defensiveness. So what are you realizing about yourself that really hurts, Aquarius? What are you realizing about yourself that disappoints you? What are you realizing about yourself that you need to work on? Plain and simple. How are you responsible? That's usually the part that really gets people, is that when they realize that they have more responsibility in their past, that path that we were talking about, how proud of you, of your path, when they realize that a lot of it was not self-inflicted in that you did it to yourself, but self-inflicted in that you did not fully exercise your capacity as a free agent in a given situation. You made something someone else's fault when you had the power to leave, to not engage, to, these things that we don't really think about sometimes, especially if we're lacking in maturity or perspective. There are plenty of reasons, being a human being. But how is this showing up for you, Aquarius, in life right now? How are you seeing your maybe immaturity? How are you seeing evidence of it? Yeah, so eager to clarify. Let's clarify. That's some tough energy to work through, Aquarius, but let's see here. Let's see how we can get you through it. And do you look at growth? Do you look at any pathway or journey as a burden? I would say. Do you look at the actual journey itself as a burden? Because I know Aquarius can get really stuck in their head about things. And just kind of want to go from start to finish. So it's funny, we had the Ace of Pentacles and it jumped straight to the 10 of Pentacles and then the 7 of Swords. So it's like, what's so wrong with the journey, Aquarius? What do you not like about the journey? Okay, so let's clarify the Ten of Pentacles, Ace of Pentacles, and Seven of Swords for Aquarius. Craziness going on in my house. All right. What do we have here for Aquarius? The Two of Pentacles. I don't mean to laugh at you, Aquarius, but it's just, you see that person's face? I believe it's a woman. You see her face? Like, panic. Straight, again, that feeling of realizing something about yourself, and then there's this moment of panic because it's like, oh my God, I'm human. Oh my God, I have flaws. Oh my God, I have to work on that. Oh my God, I'm immature. Oh my God, whatever it is, like that's what I'm feeling. It's funny because of course it's not that serious to me, but when I'm going through it and I'm stuck in my head about something, or I'm dealing with parts of myself that are undesirable, of course it's not funny. But if you pan out, I think you can find some humor in it. Let's see what else here. Thank you. Tower. The Tower. So a change. So a lot of times the universe will put us in these positions to feel these emotions, to look at these things within ourselves, because change is required, because growth is required, because we're outgrowing certain perspectives, outlooks, and all of that is good. It may not feel good, but it is good. It's good work to do, because we need to grow. If we're not growing, we're dying. So big changes, and continual changes. So I would say, Aquarius, like, find a way to find pride in the journey. Appreciate the journey a little bit more. Your own journey, whatever it is that you've been through, your flaws, your shortcomings, what you have issues with, and why. And honor that. Don't shy away from it, Don't sweep it under the rug. Because in the Tower moment, looks scary. Real scary. But it doesn't have to be. What's going on with this Ten of Wands and Nine of Wands in the career for Aquarius? Can we clarify the Ten of Wands and the Nine of Wands, please? Spirits, guides, angels, ancestors. Four of Wands. And the Page of Cups. Okay. So in your career space, like I was talking about, like, what makes you feel responsible in your career, Like I said, not necessarily what your job title is, but what would you honestly say is your responsibility? What responsibilities do you bring to work and take seriously at work? And how does that tie into your journey as a person? I would say if there's a disconnect there, that's going to cause, issues, frustration. A lot of these swords energies, 8, 9, 3 of swords, you're not going to be as fulfilled as somebody who has made a connection to their duties, responsibilities, and conscientiousness, and how it feeds their self-worth. So I would take a look at that, Aquarius. We got the Four of Wands and the Page of Cups. Four of Wands, sorry about the shade. Four of Wands and the Page of Cups. Which is talking about building stability and being more expressive at work, being more expressive in terms of what you actually, being more idealistic, I guess, and bringing that to work. So if you are and I would say that Aquarius is idealistic, so be a dreamer and find a way to bring those ideas or even the energy to work. Bring that energy to work in whatever you do. And if you can't do that, I would take a look at, again, your relationship to your career and how it may or may not be feeding your highest self. But yeah, it looks like, you might want to think about the fullness of your life, Aquarius. The fullness of your life and how each aspect of it feeds that. And that's why the journey is important. And that's why it's important to look at your shadow side and come to terms with it. Because you're the only one that has to be you. Get me? We got the Eight of Wands for personal development. What else? Clarifying the 8, 9, and 3 of Swords. Judgment, Magician, and the 8 of Wands. So, again, there seems to be this call, Aquarius, for you. And I can't say what's going on in your personal life, of course, but there seems to be this call to a higher version of yourself, this call to handle things differently, think of things differently, view things differently, which is tough. So this 8, 9, and 3 of Swords, it looks like growing pains. Yeah. And the 8 of Wands, Judgment, and the Magician is talking about just that, like I said, that call to the next level, to engage in your life just a little bit more. And for a lot of you, that's going to be at work. If you go to work and you're mindless for 8 hours, or you feel like you don't do anything, or whatever the case is at work, find a way to express who you actually are and what you actually believe at work. It may help for some of you. And others, that's not where the issue is. It's more in